couple of weeks ago, a comment was left down below, and per usual, it was one that really grabbed my attention. The individual stated that when women like me, who have hair on the tighter end of the kinky coily spectrum, choose to relax our hair, we do it ultimately to hide our texture. Immediately upon completion of reading this comment, I had a flashback to my late teenage years, back to the first time I really assessed a relaxer box. You see, before then, I have never really gotten a close look at relaxer boxes. I have only ever relaxed my hair once so far in my life, and it was because a certain individual wanted me to be part of an event. This person wanted me to have nice hair like the other children. My mom had no clue, and I worried about how she would react as the relaxer began to sting my scalp. Upon finding out, my mother just stared for a moment, sighed, and decided right then and there she would let the relaxer grow out of my head. That experience taught me two things. One, as an adult, if you don't know how to manage a child's natural hair, just don't do it. There's no need for this good hair, bad hair stuff. And two, having chemically straightened hair wasn't more beautiful than my own natural hair. In fact, to me at least, it wasn't anything. It was just regular. But let's get back to the relaxer boxes. As I scrolled through the black section of the hair aisle at my local store, I looked to the very bottom and there it was, the relaxers. Curious, I picked it up and looked at the women on the packaging. All had smooth, shiny, really straight hair. I took a peek at the children's boxes and it showcased the same thing. Sleek hair with movement and body, almost like a CoverGirl or Garnier Fructis commercial. Funny enough, I had many friends in high school who had relaxed hair and none of their hair looked like the hair on the packaging. Could this $7 box really make my tightly coiled hair look like Gabrielle Union's hair in Deliver Us from Eva? I shrugged my shoulders, put the box back down, and decided to stop by the nearest African mart for some shea butter. I was styling my hair in a large mini twist bun, no added hair, with mini twist bangs, my favorite hairstyle at the time. Years later, I have finally found the answer to the question I have so long ago. Relaxing my hair could not give me the flowy locks featured in the CoverGirl and Garnier Fructis commercials. It especially could not make my hair look like Gabrielle Union's hair in Deliver Us from Eva, and it most definitely could not make my hair look like the women on the packaging, at least not straight out of the shower without blow drying and flat ironing it. The day I realized that my tightly coiled hair could never look like the women on the relaxer boxes straight out of the shower was a day I realized that the relaxer boxes might be giving a false impression of what chemically straightened natural hair is really like. And it is due to this realization that I believe now that relaxing one's hair can never hide your hair texture. Growing up with natural hair made me highly unaware of the realities of relaxed hair. I just blindly believed what was showcased on the box. Before looking into relaxed hair on YouTube, I believed that relaxers gave you the ability to walk straight out of the shower with bone straight, flawless hair. The most you would need to do, if anything, is to give it a rough blow dry in order to get this look. I also was under the impression that maintenance would be way less and there would be less breakage once the hair was no longer in its curly state. Boy, was I wrong. I learned that women with tighter patterns who relaxed their hair did not have effortless bone straight hair, but kinky straight hair instead. In order to get the sleek straight look, they had to blow dry and flat iron their hair. They also had rigorously structured hair routines, just like women who are natural. It turns out I wasn't the only one who had this belief. My sister learned this information just 2 weeks ago. The generation of young women who grew up natural in the United States, who were involved with the natural hair movement, are learning this information for themselves as well. Recently, a lot of young women, particularly traditionally college-age young women, have decided to relax their hair with the same expectations that I once had. They went into it thinking that they were going to have straight hair that was effortless and low maintenance. This generation mostly grew up in the era of the wig YouTube boom. Relaxed hair was not popular at all during this time. But wigs, hair pieces, and gelled hairstyling choices were insanely popular. This is why it is not surprising to find that this age group was or is not aware of what relaxed hair is truly about. In the past, they may have been relaxed, but many might have been too young or have simply forgotten what it took to maintain relaxed hair. How do I know this? From anecdotal evidence on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Our YouTube comment section has also been a resource into the minds and thoughts of many young women online. It has given us a tremendous amount of insight. There are also tons of young ladies reaching out to us via email in dire need of assistance. Many young women who have decided to take part in the recent move back to relaxers did so with a lack of full understanding on what it is like to be relaxed. You don't really see this situation happening with women who have a history of relaxing and they happen to be in their late 20s or older, because they still remember and have a full understanding of what being relaxed is like due to previous personal experiences. This phenomenon showcases to me that the natural hair movement, as well as online hair influencers, really did have a very strong impact on a subset of young women, particularly somewhere between young millennials and older Gen Z, somewhere in between that gap. And I'm mostly talking about young millennials and older Gen Z, particularly from the United States. So as a result of the relaxer failing for a lot of these young women, some have decided to look for safer, easier methods to alter their curl patterns after failing with the relaxer. So they're looking into things such as keratin, Gina curl, etc. And because of failing with the relaxer, a portion of the same group of young ladies have sworn off chemicals once again and have currently big chopped or have begun their transition process. Just a couple of things I would like to draw to your attention is that I find that women who are closer to 30 or 30 years and over are less likely to have regrets about their decision to go back to relaxers for good. This same group of women feel unashamed if they also choose to do Gina curl, heat training, or have some type of keratin treatment of their choice. At the same time, there are also women who are closer to 30 or over 30 who have decided to stick to being natural and feel strongly about not altering or compromising their hair integrity in any way. They are not being swayed by the current trends at all. They are leaning more towards mastering their various natural hairstyles, learning more about their hair, and most of them would likely choose braids, crochet styles, wigs, or locks if they are seeking respite from their hair. They will not turn to chemicals or heat altering of their hair at all. These women are sticking to their guns. With all this being said, I do believe that Black women's hair texture and hair pattern plays a big part in how their relaxed hair will present itself. It also has a huge impact on each individual's hair routine and maintenance routine post-service. You cannot ignore these factors when speaking about relaxed hair care, or you are bound to fail at having well taken care of relaxed hair. This is the first reason why relaxing your hair does not hide your hair texture. The second reason why relaxing your hair does not mean you're hiding your hair texture is because texturism exists within straight hair natural spaces. I myself, as a natural who wears my hair straight a lot of the time, have been subjected to texturism. If your hair is not flat ironed or straightened to achieve a certain look, people online have a lot of negative things to say, while people in real life tend to like the coarseness that still exists in my hair. They find it extremely beautiful. Even when I sometimes go a little overboard with the application of products, I still get tons of compliments. It's funny because all my life I have found hair extensions with visible coarseness to be the most beautiful form of hair extension. Don't get me wrong, I found the bone straight hair to look beautiful on other races of women, but I absolutely hated bone straight hair for myself. I would feel as though something was missing. Having coarse hair or coarse hair extensions ultimately led to standing out in a good way. A lot of Black women often approach my sister and I with lots of questions because for the longest time, they probably only adhered to one standard of what straight natural hair could look like. The standard that has been forced on us for so long that if we choose to do something different, texturist people look at you like there's something wrong with you. Just because I choose to wear my hair straight doesn't mean I'm willing to flat iron my hair to death. It is also thanks to this way of thinking that on this channel, we create and develop techniques that puts type 4 hair first. A lot of hair brands with straightening products do not do this. Type 4 hair is often treated like an afterthought in this space, a spare piece that was added after the puzzle was already completed, and no one likes to be treated like a spare or someone's plan B. I believe that a lot of women who chemically straighten their hair began to take on this mindset years ago. I will straighten my hair to the standard that I see fit and what I believe will benefit my hair the most, rather than what society is telling me to do, these women decided. As a result, we began to see chemically straightened hair exist on a spectrum. Most of the time, you will find relaxed YouTubers with varying degrees of texture. You can now expect to see anything from a soft blowout look to a light yaki look. We also saw a lot of women with chemically straightened hair stop flat ironing their hair every time they would wash their hair. Why did they do this? Because they began to embrace the texture that God has given them and realized that their hair was more likely to thrive that way. Many, but not all women who naturally have the tightest coils on the kinky coily spectrum go into getting chemical services with the expectation that their hair texture and pattern will change into that. This is a very unrealistic view to have, which can lead to major disappointment or improper management of their hair post-service. Both of these problems can affect your hair and not allow it to thrive in its newly straightened state. Have you ever wondered why women with coarse hair are not featured on relaxer boxes? When the vast majority of women who are relaxed, their hair does not end up as straight as the picture on the box? Why give women an unrealistic expectation of what relaxing one's hair can achieve for women with tightly coiled hair? Many people may think that this is no big deal, but it is. Because when it comes to advertisements, messaging is everything. Some brands will do anything or give any impression just to make a sale or promote a certain image. Think about it like online shopping. Have you ever purchased a clothing item online because of the photo just to be disappointed by the actual item? It's the same thing. This is why clothing hauls became so popular, because people wanted to see what clothing actually looked like after purchasing and how it would look on various body types. So why wouldn't the same logic apply to chemical hair straightening? This is what a texturizer would look like on tightly coiled hair. This is what a relaxer would look like on tightly coiled hair, etc. This is what should be the industry standard when it comes to showcasing the results for relaxers. They also need to take hair density, hair texture, and hair pattern into mind when it comes to showcasing results for these chemical services. It is only thanks to YouTube and YouTubers that young women who wish to relax and young women who know nothing about chemical straightening, like my sister and I, that we can now have a really good idea or a better idea on what to expect when it comes to relaxed hair, which is very unfortunate. This is just a thought, but could flat ironing your hair or chemically straightening your hair without eliminating all texture be the main reason why some Black women are able to have relatively healthy hair and retain length while having hair in a straightened state? For example, my sister was able to wear her hair straight for several months, almost a year now, without any of her hair being heat trained or damaged at all. She has zero changes to her hair texture or pattern. She did this as an experiment to see if it was possible to wear your hair straight month after month with no damage to the hair's integrity. If you are interested, definitely check out that video. It brings a fresh perspective on what straight natural hair can look like and what straight natural hair can achieve. A lot of people have been saying things such as, I would love to see your hair professionally flat ironed, but I believe that her method of flat ironing is a key factor when it comes to her being able to retain insane amounts of length, just as much growth as someone who puts their hair in braided protective hairstyles. This could be the key to at-home straight hair success, just like how women who are chemically straightening their hair are able to reach success with at-home hair relaxing. Is loving and embracing your texture instead of running away from it the key to all forms of straight hair success for those with kinky coily hair? Let me know down below. In conclusion, we are living in a time where a lot of women who took part in the natural hair movement are now branching out and trying new things as it pertains to their hair and hair care. Although there are many people who are sad about this change, I believe that women should do what they believe is best for their individual lifestyle, which is why here at Dynamic Touch, we created the Follicles First movement. If you're interested to see what the Follicles First movement is about, the link will be down in the description box. So what do you guys think about this topic? Do you believe that if a woman with tightly coiled hair chooses to relax her hair, it's because they are trying to hide their texture? Or do you think it's really about something else? Do you agree with the points I made in the video? Let me know down below. I always love to hear from you guys and read the comments you leave below. And as always, I'll see you next time on Dynamic Touch.